I want to be where the costumes are. I want to see their evolutions, like Ariel cast members covering up those, what's the word again? Feet. Hey guys, it's Dan, and it's time to take a look at the evolution of Mermaid Ariel. Up where they run, up where they ride. I don't know the lyrics. Up where they stay all day in the sun. Someday I'll be covered in bubble juice is what I am right now. 1989, The Little Mermaid came out, and you know what? You're here. You know the movie, guys. It was wild. People just loved it. Ariel was voiced by Jodie Benson from Broadway, a really, really talented singer. And for the animation reference, they had model Sherry Lynn Stoner come in and essentially work off of a bunch of props on a blue screen, giving the animators perfect reference to animate. She gave us all of those great, all that great rock choreography. All right, she just tastefully laid on rocks and held forks and statues for these animators to just smash that animation. The movie was a smash hit, and of course the first priority was getting her in Disney World, right? And so we stuck her right into a character cavalcade type parade. The parade float's very, very simple. There's not a lot of fluff and frill to it. It looks like the front marquee of a movie theater with the Little Mermaid logo slapped onto it, loaded with characters and stuck on the end of a parade. But you know what? It works. And it really set the tone for Ariel's theme park journey. Because let me tell you something, parades love Ariel. Because she makes such a great prop. She's a floating, flapping, floppy fish lady. In 1991, Spectra Magic, boy, we covered her in Christmas lights. It was amazing. In 2007, Once Upon a Dream Parade, boy, they really play with the texture and the look of her fins, because now she's a little bit further away, so we got these big, blocky, scales going up and down her fins. 2011 Soundsational Parade, we just put her on a stick. We started waving her around the audience as she's flapping. My God, so physically demanding. Being forced to wiggle your legs for a solid 45 to 60 minutes. Those parades, man, they're out there for a while. Festival of Fantasy Parade in 2014. Now we're playing with this lime green Ariel texture, which is, beautiful with long, flappy, flowing blue fins. Oh man, 2014's Paint the Night, where we just electrified her again and filled her fins with LED pulsing lights with Triton and his pecs behind him, being all sea dad, stay away from my daughter. I've got big, scary ocean pecs. And you know what? We even stick her into a bunch of, castle shows and little, medley shows that we like to do all so often, like Mickey and the Wondrous Book in 2015 Hong Kong. Again, it's just another Ariel on a rock being shoved out behind a place you couldn't see her. So, it works. Even in Shanghai, the Golden Fairy Tale Fanfare castle show, stunning. But now she's half a mile away because this castle's so freaking big. And to solve that, we just cover her legs with texture. This is just a texture game. Ariel in parades is just a game of how are we going to plus up the texture of the fins, of the legs, how far away is she going to be, how bold does she have to look? Textures, textures, textures. Ariel's journey through the parades is a really great example of how versatile this character is, using just a very basic costume design. It's just a lady with her legs wrapped up in a long fin and tail situation, but you see example after example after example of how this very simple design is plussed up and changed and how versatile it is. It's a really amazing costume. Look, when I think about the ocean, I think about fish and how they smell weird. No one wants your house to smell like fish. Imagine Ariel doesn't smell great. Fish lady. Mermaids probably just smell weird. Anyway, if your house smells like fish, a great way to fix that would be to go to magiccandlecompany.com and use promo code DisneyDan15 to pick up a great theme park scented candle. Fish lady. My favorite Ariel parade appearance is, of course, in the 1992 Fantasmic. And that works, Mark Twain, it comes out from the bushes and it disappears in the bushes. Ariel looks great in Disneyland's Fantasmic, but once again, not to harp on how terrible MGM's or Hollywood Studios Fantasmic is, Ariel appears on that poor excuse for a Mark Twain. But the problem is with that boat is that it doesn't go away at the end of the show. And so what do you do with an Ariel that everyone can see, but she's got fins and she can't walk? Well, Fantasmic solved that by just covering her in a black bag. That's right, just a black bag. That's just Ariel. See that? See that over there in the shadows? Wiggling around a little bit? That's just a woman in a black sack dressed as a mermaid. Man, oh man. I love when we have big magical problems we have to solve, and the solution is often just a piece of black fabric. Look, I know I'm focusing a lot on Mermaid Ariel, and this isn't to say that Ariel doesn't make appearances as Princess Beautiful Dress Ariel in other parts of the park. She certainly does. We have pretty pink dress Ariel that appears here and there. We have a beautiful teal dress Ariel that makes appearances left and right. Ariel makes appearances as princesses, and sure, you can meet Princess Ariel, but is that any fun? No. We want to meet Mermaid Ariel, and how do we make that happen? Welcome to Ariel's Grotto, the 1996 solution to just what are we gonna do with all that space left behind the wake of closing 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And, well, the answer is more aquatic life, but this time in a meet and greet situation. Ariel's Grotto was a really interesting attraction, had a lot of cool stuff going on, like bronze statues of Triton and waterfalls and interactive, kind of places to hang out as a kid. But the main attraction, of course, was meeting Mermaid Ariel. It's almost like a sideshow attraction a little bit, meet a living mermaid. But that poses an interesting problem. How do you get a cast member dressed as a mermaid out to guests to meet? I guess one of the things you could do is put her on a large rotating clamshell and reveal her like a hidden bookcase in front of a bunch of kids. Like the painting of of that painting. That painting with, Kenny, just show him the painting. You know what I'm talking about, with the clamshell and the mermaid. The grotto was an open-air attraction, kind of like a meet and greet you could do on the side of a building, but it wasn't until 2012 that we moved the grotto into its own unique enclosure, where you kind of had to travel down some hallways and turn a corner to find Ariel on this big, magnificent clamshell bench. Ariel's Grotto does a great job of highlighting the difference in Disney's decisions on how to make Ariel's fins. In some cases, we have tight lycra kind of spandex material just wrapping the cast members' legs, but in other cases, we have this patchwork quilt type thing where the texture is just layered on to make fin scale. It's an interesting choice. So what if you want to see a live, shortened, Sparks Notes recapped version of the iconic Little Mermaid show? Well, just head over to MGM Studios and see The Voyage of the Little Mermaid in 1992. This was a show. It had lasers. Had bubbles. It had a waterfall in the show. I mean, people were coming for the effects. We just want to see the bubbles and the lasers. The show starts with the Under the Sea montage with, it's cool, black lights, puppets. I'm all about that. And then we have Ariel just roll down on a rock. Early on in the show's development, she was on this clamshell thing as a mermaid, and she was singing Part of Your World, just very stationary. Just very stationary on a rock singing. Later, we kind of plussed it up and put her on like a cooler rock when it got refurbished in like the 2000s. Early on, it was just clamshell Ariel in these tight, very generic mermaid leggings. Later, it was refurbished into patchwork quilt, fin Ariel. The best part about this whole show is the transformation of Ariel at the end, where she just essentially stands up and someone rips her legs off. It's like, would anyone who'd like to transform from a mermaid into a human please stand? All right, everyone count to 3 and rip your fins off. Very, very dramatic, very sharp transformation. I've long crusaded that this show needs to close. It has been running for far, far, far too long. And I think the pandemic might have finally closed it. I can't wait to see what new show we put in that space that utilizes bubbles, lasers, and waterfalls. But for the time being, that show was just so tired. It was just so tired. R.I.P. Voyage of the Little Mermaid. As Tokyo Disneyland often does, It sees what we're doing in America, laughs at it, and makes it 1,000 times better. And that's exactly what happened in 2001 in the Mermaid Lagoon Theater. You guys aren't ready for this. I didn't even know that this thing existed. It is a Little Mermaid recap show, similar to the Voyage of the Little Mermaid, but fully done with Ariel on a wire. She swims. She swims around the theater. It's incredible. It's really, really, really beautiful. The hair is interesting. The wig is like almost like this living foam thing, just covered with interesting gizmos and gadgets. And the fins are stunning. They're long and flowing, like an Ariel silk show in a Cirque du Soleil type acrobatic thing. It's amazing. She really looks like she's swimming. The Mermaid Lagoon is a theater in the round, meaning like you're sitting all the way around the entire stage. You're getting a 360 view of the performance. So Ariel has the opportunity to really swim down and interact with a full 360 scape, and it works. Now we have a fully mobile Ariel with the Tokyo show, but that doesn't ground her as a really useful character in a full Broadway style production. So what happens when you do a full Broadway style production of The Little Mermaid and you need her to swim around stage? And the answer is Heelys. Heelys. You know those things that like every 12-year-old for like 6 months wore and they were just a nuisance? What is this? Starlight Express? That's an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical that was also skate related. He's a huge Starlight Express fan, this guy. I like the Broadway show. I think that the costuming in the Broadway production is bold, but it works in the context of what was going on with Triton and Sebastian and the costuming. It had to be bold and interesting. It was Broadway, for crying out loud. The tail, how it reacts to the actress rolling around on her Heelys, it's pretty. It's pretty. It works. Sure. And almost like history repeating itself, in 2013, Tokyo got word that we were doing a Little Mermaid musical, and they're like, yeah, but they'd use wires? And everyone's like, nope, Heelys. And they're like, missed opportunity, guys. They used wires like they did in Tokyo Disneyland. The costume is stunning. This flowy, beautiful thing is, the hair is a choice, but the costume is breathtaking. As she swims through with that giant statue on stage, I need to like go there and see a production of this ASAP. I'm truly enamored by the Ariel theatrics that they did in this show. It's really cool. Speaking of Ariel weird hair, man, Ariel just finds herself in just endless controversies when it comes to her hair. The 2011 Under the Sea, hold on, wait, I gotta get this right. In Disneyland, it's The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure, but in Magic Kingdom, it's Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid. Someone needs to be fired because of this, all right? Why? Why are we doing this? It's like, are we gonna name Tron something different when it opens up? It's like we had 2 Towers of Terrors. We didn't call one Tower of Terror and the other one Terror in a Tower. It's like, where's the consistency? Where's the consistency in any of this? Terror in a Tower. That's my favorite ride. Gotta go over to Disneyland and ride Terror in a Tower starring, Batista. I love the ride. The ride's really cool. The Under the Sea whole montage is amazing, but what's really incredible is, in the first version of the ride, Ariel had what could only be described as soft serve ice cream cone hair. It made sense, because in that, there's a moment in the song where fish give her a swirly, you know? And it's like, yeah, I guess hair works like that in water and maybe space. But when it's presented practically as latex and hydraulic tubes, it looks weird. All right, it looks strange, and everyone's just like, why is it doing that? So shortly after the ride opened, they had to redo the animatronic in that number. Could someone tell me what choices were being made in 2019? I know that we were all stressed, guys. I get it. There's a lot of rough stuff going on. No, it was 2019. It was before all this stuff went wrong, all right? I need answers, all right? I need answers about Little Mermaid Live. John Stamos, all right? I'm pretty sure he kidnapped Buzzy. I mean, he buys everything at every Disneyland auction. He's the worst. It's like, you want some Disney memorabilia? No. John Stamos starred in Full House and those residuals are really paying off. This was just so strange. The transformation in this production was wild. It's just like she's on stage still. They have the problem they had with Fantasmic in this, in that she's just a mermaid on a rock with wheels on it, so they're rolling her around during the entire live production. It's a sight to watch, but then she transforms and there's a whole video montage of her transforming above her still sitting on a rock wearing fins. It's strange. It's strange. Speaking of figuring out Ariel and her legs, I mean, it's in the song. She wishes she had legs that functioned independently, because right now she's just got one scaly stump that allows her to like maneuver through water well, but she just that's all she wants is just two fleshy stumps with feet on the end of them. You understand? And Disney on Ice just goes out of its way to just laugh at the face of the entire plot of this movie, and they just give her legs right at the start. And sometimes they give her legs and she's wearing a miniskirt. Sometimes they give her legs and she's wearing bell bottoms. Sometimes they give her legs and she's wearing like a Rito Moreno kind of dress. It's beautiful, but it's still legs. Still legs. They're all legs. They're all legs. Fin legs. Mermaid fin legs. If she had these legs to begin with, she wouldn't have needed any of, like, nothing, none of these problems would have happened. She wouldn't have had to sell her soul to her weird aunt and try to, like, get a man to love her. And then her aunt's like, no, I want that man to love me because I'm power hungry. Irrelevant. Why does she have legs in every Disney on Ice? You know what? So many Disney on Ice Ariels, and none of them work. Mermaids and Disney parks are almost like synonymous. Mermaids have been around at Disneyland for a really long time. So the fact that we could continue the tradition with live mermaids with such an iconic character as Ariel is amazing. I think that, you know, like, I have two daughters. They love mermaids. The opportunity to meet a living mermaid is a rare treat. I'm a huge fan of Ariel in the parks. Let me know if you guys have met Ariel in the parks. Ariel's Grotto, you've seen some of her shows, maybe seen a couple parades with her in it. Let me know in the comments below on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Come on over to Patreon, check out all the stuff we're doing over there. Just, you know, thanks so much for watching this video. Every single one of your watches and comments, likes, shares means the world to me. I really appreciate all you guys. Thanks for watching so much. You rock. We're fully committing to this bit. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more.